Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Mitch. Good Tuesday morning to you all. Hope you all are having a great start to your day and a great work week so far. As always, here in the morning videos, we got you an update on what is potentially going to happen specifically for today, which is your Tuesday, May the 17th. Always got to check the date down there because I always forget. But we're going to talk about a threat for some severe weather across portions of the middle of the country. And then, as always, just talk about everybody as a whole. First and foremost, I want to say thank you all for the prayers with the community post last night. It's definitely been a crazy last, I would say, 2 or 3 days. My sump pump went out in my driveway, and then my garbage disposal went out at dinner last night, leaking from the actual bottom, which pretty much everything on Google says, hey, you probably need to buy a new one due to internal seals that are stripped or leaking. So going to do that, get some things done this week. So I apologize not getting to the video last night. My head was definitely not in. I was not focused on what was going on with the weather at all. But I appreciate the prayers. I definitely do. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And as always, if you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it. And it gives others an opportunity to do so too. We glorify God doing it. God wants us to come to Him with our issues. Sometimes you just got to praise Him when things are going good. I think sometimes we forget to do that. Just when things are going perfect, it seems everything's going smooth, nothing bad's happened for a while. Sometimes you just got to stop and thank Him then too. And I think sometimes we forget to do that. But let's get rolling this morning. As always, we'll start off by looking at the Storm Prediction Center. Right in the middle of the country, we have an enhanced risk up. I mean, literally like right smack in the middle of the lower 48. This is including portions of northwest areas of Missouri, northeast areas of Kansas, southeast areas of Nebraska, and a very small area of southwest Iowa. We have an enhanced region right into here, slight region for a much larger area. Enhanced is a level 3 out of 5, and really all hazards on the table. 5% risk of a tornado in 25 miles in any given location in this region right here. And then there is a significant wind threat with a 30% chance of damaging winds occurring in 25 miles in any given point in this 30% region. So that's a 30% chance of that. And there's a hail risk, especially early on where any supercells can get going. As always, supercells always pose the risk for a tornado threat and a big, large hail threat. So there's actually a hatched region. So that is actually a 10% risk inside or overlapped, or however way you want to say it, overlaid by these other percent chances of it happening. So that hatch region is that black outlined region that is a 10% risk of larger hail exceeding 2-inch or diameter or higher. So we need to watch out for larger hail today. But an active severe weather day right for the middle of the heart of the country for sure. Water vapor loop kind of shows what's going on, broad trough extending out west to the central U.S. You already have a lot of convection, leftover energy from overnight from the panhandle of Texas. It's kind of drifted into areas of southern Kansas and Oklahoma, dealing with a little bit of showers and storms today. But we'll watch this area today. For my folks in the eastern U.S., especially the extreme eastern U.S., the eastern areas of the eastern U.S., if that makes any sense. It'll be nice today. It'll be warm, but it'll be more crisp. You'll notice that the humidity just will not be there today. And please take advantage of it because it's going to get very hot the rest of the week. It really is. Dew points are going to be really low, anywhere from the Carolinas all the way up to the Northeast, as a cold front has moved through and really stabilized the atmosphere and brought in some much comfortable air as opposed to that soupy, humid-like air. So let's take a look at the middle of the country. We'll take a look at a much broader look, and then we'll zoom in on these specific areas that we need to watch out for severe storms. So moving forward, we'll take a look at the latest long-range HRRR model. Let's always make sure this is in 1-hour intervals. And really starting off already, probably early to middle part of the afternoon, we'll already have a complex of storms moving through that same area we just talked about that has an enhanced risk. These will pose a risk, and especially early on, they'll pop up, hail threat right here, and this will move in through, northern areas of Missouri, even southern areas of Iowa. That'll move through, but really there's 2 waves. Another wave cranks up later in the evening tonight, and you'll have some big-time storms, maybe in northeast areas of Nebraska, then southern Nebraska, and these will quickly congeal into a line of storms. This will probably be as the sun's already down, and, as And basically, we're getting into the overnight hours, and really this is what the Storm Prediction Center is mentioning also. We need to watch out for this large hail, a tornado threat with these storms, but they turn into a pretty, if the HRRR model was to happen, a pretty nasty line of storms for this region of the country later tonight, well after the sun goes down for this part of the country. I mean, this is a pretty beast of a line of storms, starting to move through areas of northeast Kansas and then northwest Missouri. So watch out in this area. Watch out Omaha. Out of all the bigger, towns and cities in this region, Omaha is an area that's going to be under the gun today. Even maybe Kansas City a little bit later tonight into the wee hours of the morning. But let's zone into this area. We'll back this up and start off, a little bit early this afternoon. And we'll look at Nebraska, and here it is. You already got showers and storms popping up near Omaha early this afternoon. And then we're getting into the evening hours, and then some more energy will initialize here in these areas in Nebraska right here. Omaha sitting right here. We'll keep this rolling here, and quickly, I'm talking, 9, 10, 11 p.m. We'll have a line of storms that really comes together right here and then moves through areas of southeast Nebraska and then moving into Iowa and Missouri a little bit later on. But it's going to be a very stormy evening. In fact, you might get hit twice, maybe 3 times in areas like Omaha and surrounding areas. I know I'm mentioning Omaha a lot, but that's obviously a bigger known city in this region. Now looking downstream into Missouri, we'll keep this rolling here. We're getting into the evening hours. Watch out for this cluster of storms. There's going to be some surface moisture building into this region that is going to be enough oomph to the atmosphere to really provide, a severe weather threat in this region. So watch out with these, especially just south of these storms. They might have a hook to them here in northern and north central Missouri in the late afternoon, early evening hours. You got to watch out. But then we'll watch out for this big storm. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised for late tonight if the wind threat increases. This might be a bigger deal here in the coming hours, and this might get upgraded to a significant wind threat, maybe a hatched wind threat. But this is going to be a big weather maker. It's going to wake a lot of people up in areas of northern Missouri today. Later tonight is what I meant, And then this keeps going through the morning hours, and then, this is tomorrow morning around this time, and got a lot of heavy rain, showers, and storms entering Illinois and the Quad States regions for sure. So be careful in this region today. Definitely some active weather expected. But for the rest of the country, for the central and eastern U.S., of course, we just mentioned this area right here. But even in areas of Minnesota, you're going to be probably dealing with some showers today. Not really much in the way of storms, but some showers here in the north central U.S. And then maybe some showers and heavier showers wrapping their way into the interior northeast as, a low pressure here in southeast Canada, the one that, gave all the severe weather to areas in the mid-Atlantic and northeast yesterday, continues to kind of slowly meander northeast here. Will probably pop up some showers, maybe a storm or two, but for the southeast, pretty quiet. Maybe some showers, an isolated storm in Florida, but other than that, pretty quiet day. But in the overnight hours, probably in Wisconsin, watch out Lake Michigan and both sides of Lake Michigan. Some showers can move in overnight, but that's a little bit overnight tonight, not a big deal. But as far as temperatures, you'll notice it'll be much cooler in the northeast. Highs only in the 40s, maybe 50s in the higher elevations of the interior northeast. But, I think the areas closer to the I-95 corridor will be nice still. I think it'll be highs in the 60s and 70s for the big cities like Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Probably will get close to 80 degrees, if not hit 80 degrees. And the further south you go, the warmer it gets, and you start to see these 90s down here in South Georgia. But the good thing about this today is low humidity. But the further west you get, you'll probably lose that lower humidity, and it's going to be an absolute roaster today here in south central U.S., Texas, and Oklahoma, where you guys have been very hot early in the year so far. But where you're still under the influence of this troughing, cooler, up here in the Great Lakes region, just 50s, 60s for highs, especially if you're, up against that lake where you still got the lake cooled water for sure. Here's dew points, and you see this kind of narrow stripe of higher dew points right here. That is being pulled up by this low pressure that's going to bring that severe weather to this part of the country today. But really nice, crisp air dominating the eastern to even Ohio Valley, eastern U.S., Ohio Valley, Great Lakes region. So it's going to feel warm today for a lot of part of the country, but it will also feel a lot less humid, unless you're in Florida, where you guys are just getting to the time of the year where you stay very, very humid. But unless you're in this region right here, areas of Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, western Missouri. So you guys will be dealing with a more humid air today, as in, the surface low pulls up more moisture. But for my folks out west, pretty quiet day. It really is. Some pop-up showers, maybe even a storm in Wyoming. Outside the higher elevations is definitely possible. Watch out these. They might can pack a little bit of a punch here as they move into Nebraska. But, the Pacific Northwest is pretty quiet today, but, another system will move in overnight more than likely and start bringing more rain for your Wednesday. But as far as moisture, not a very active day out west today, but temperatures above average for everybody. I mean, whatever your average temperature is, and I know everything's kind of elevation dependent out here, add 5 to 10 degrees to it at least, because it's going to be very warm and very nice, not really active in the way as weather. I mean, areas in Utah in the lower elevations getting well into the 80s, and then the northern plains getting well into the 70s and some 80s out there, 90s reaching all the way up into Nebraska. So a very nice day today. So that's all I got. I'll mention, the GFS, and we'll talk about this tonight if nothing else breaks in the house, but the GFS is still wanting to think that there's going to be tropical activity on the eastern side of Central America. It has not went away with the idea at all. I know I haven't talked about it much in the last 24, 36 hours, but I've just kind of taken a break from talking about it on social media as much just to see what's going to happen. But it still likes the idea of something happening. So we'll continue to try to figure that out. And I think that'll be more talked about probably as we get to the weekend. So you guys have a great day. Like I said, I appreciate the prayers for my situation. My situation is not a big deal, guys. It really isn't. There was a point in my life where, I would be doom and gloom. I would let the stress of such little things get to me throughout my day. It would derail my routine. It would get me off track. But I was able to get up this morning, positive mindset, fought off any kind of negative thoughts, and I did what I had to do. So I hope you guys do the same. And I'll talk to you guys this evening. God bless.